Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So in this one, we're basically just working on desensitizing. If you've seen our previous videos, you know that this isn't the first time that she's seen tarpaulin, but it is the first time that I'm going to be like lifting it up and eventually trying to touch her with it. So the first thing that we're doing is just getting her used to being around it again. Because it's been a while and it's a scary thing, right? It moves a lot, makes loud noises. It's definitely unnatural, so you just want them to feel comfortable with it before you actually try and do anything. Now every horse learns differently. You can see she's moving away because she's not that comfortable, but she's also not really stressed. It's important to desensitize your horse to different things, especially if you're planning on hacking or taking your horse out to competitions, because you just don't want them to spook. So you can see here she's walking over it because that's what we've done before with the tarpaulin. That's where our training has gone. So she's kind of trying to show me that she knows what to do and it's fine and she's still brave, but that's not really what I want from her today. So to get a bit more movement and then start picking it up, flapping it about. And I try and keep the lead rope as loose as possible, as you can see, so that she doesn't feel trapped. She's making the choice to stay, and that's how you want it. I mean, she's backing up a bit because the wind got underneath it and made it flap around a bit more. And that's alright. You can see there, I'm trying to reassure her, but I'm also not letting her back up too much. It's important to keep an eye on the little steps that they do, because you don't want them to like wind themselves up, right? So if she takes one step back, that's clearly showing she's not comfortable, but it's tolerable, right? If she keeps taking step backs, you want to say to her, no, it's okay, come forwards, stay where I'm telling you to stay. It was quite handy there because the wind really did pick up the tarpaulin and she got a chance to see it, and although she's moving around, she's looking at it, she's not running away. She tried to walk away there because she's a little bit nervous, but that's alright. You can still see that there's no tension in the lead rope. You want them to make the choice. So there I asked her to come a bit closer, and then I tried to position her where I want her. And again, just gently flapping it about, because ideally I wanted her in a situation where she's really not bothered about it flapping about at all. So there she's a little bit freaked out because it started floating, but if you see, she again didn't run away, she didn't move away, she's looking at it curiously. Those are all good signs. And then I give her a pat to reassure her. And again, it's good to constantly reassure them, whether that's vocally or give them a pat when you can. Personally, I like giving her a lot of reassurance vocally because that's easy to do when riding or when lunging. And they just need the reassurance to know that they're doing the right thing. So the reason that we took a little walk around was just to loosen up her mind a little bit, so that we don't become fixated on the tarpaulin and it doesn't become, you know, the only thing that she's thinking about, and then things seem like a bigger deal than they are. And you don't want that. So again, I'm moving it around with my feet, with my hands, trying to keep her as close as possible. And that was good then again, because it moved by itself, just like a plastic bag would if you're on a hack. And she didn't run away, so already it's a good thing, but you can see that she's not completely relaxed about it. And the reason that I'm not moving it around too much is because I don't want her to think I'm sending her away, right? So what I started there was walking around with it. And you can see she was less keen on that because it was like it was dragging behind her. But then we stop, I show her what it is. and then we carry on. And it's good to change it up as many ways as you can. So I could see she wasn't relaxing more and more the more that I was shaking it about. So we try something else, which is dragging it around. Then it's a consistent sound, but she's got something else to focus on rather than just the tarpaulin. She's got to focus on walking around, going in the direction I'm telling her to go in, stopping when I'm asking her to stop. And you can see just from that little walk, she's already slightly more relaxed. So then I started lifting it up higher. As I said, just changing the way that we do things. Then I walk over it, make some more noise, get her to walk over it. That it really doesn't become a big deal, but that I give her a chance to feel okay about it before I actually put it on her. And you can see she's curious, but she's not incredibly worried, and that's the other thing to keep an eye on your horse. If you see that they're not relaxing at all, then change it. Either keep it on the ground, get them to walk over it. As I said, this isn't the first time that she's seen the tarpaulin, but this is the first time I've asked her to walk around with it. So this time, rather than walking next to it, I actually wanted her to follow it. And it's just a way, again, of getting her to view it as a more positive thing. And you can see there she's investigating it herself. And really that's what you want. You want your horse to want to overcome their fears. Because this isn't just about tarpaulin, this is about overcoming any kind of fear that they have. You don't want them to bolt when they get scared. You don't want them to decide that the best option is to just run away from everything they don't know. And again, we go for a little walk just to get away from it for a second, change it up. Make sure she's still listening to me, not just in her own world. I ask for some simple little exercises there, like moving over. Keep her mind engaged, because again, if you keep doing the same thing over and over, they'll get bored, they'll get frustrated, and then you'll realise that you're not actually achieving anything by doing the exercise just continuously. So that little tug that I did on her lead rope was more to ask her to stand still. To say, I don't want you to move back. And you see it worked, because although she shifted her weight backwards, her feet stayed in the same place. And she's trying, she's really using her willpower to not run away from it. So again, I'm bringing it towards her now, and then she's less happy. And that one step I didn't tolerate because I asked her to stand still very clearly. And it's good, she's investigating it. There are a few flies which were annoying her as well, which is why she keeps wiping her nose on her leg. And although her back leg is relaxed, she tends to do that when she's actually not that relaxed. You can see it's a big challenge for her, but she's doing her best. And again, those few steps I tolerated because I am moving it more, and she's not pulling away from me. She's still willing to come back when I ask. So this was the time that I tried to go near to her, and she really wasn't happy with it. And I mean, as you can see by the length of this video, it takes a long time to actually get them used to things. There's not a lot that happens in the field. But see, what I started with was her nose, let her sniff it and then give her a little stroke, and very quickly she calmed down. It's also to check in with yourself, how you feel, because if you get frustrated about things, they'll pick up on it, they'll get more stressed about it. Just like that, again, we're changing it. I'm not flapping it about now as much, I was just stroking her with it. So then this was my way of trying to get her ready to be touched with it, because I started patting her and bringing it closer like that. She's a little bit suspicious. And then I'm patting her and shaking it so it makes a sound. You can see she's not that happy with it. But it's breaking as many mental barriers as you can to start with. So rather than touching her with it, she's used to me patting her. She's used to the sound, but she's not used to them happening simultaneously. So you just try different things like that. And again, initially she's really not very happy about me lifting the tarpaulin so high. You can see the way she's moving her head, but her feet are basically staying firmly planted. And then again, I start to change it and I ask her to follow it. And it's a scary looking thing, you know. They're trained to run away from stuff, that's in their nature. So now I'm asking her to follow the scary thing. But it just shifts their perspective and interpretation of this scary thing. You can see the wind picked it up and she wasn't so sure then. And that's one of the reasons that horses are probably so scared of plastic, is really the unpredictability of it. So you just got to bear with them and understand that it'll take time for them to become okay with it. So this time, rather than trying to touch her, again I get her to walk over it. That's something that she is comfortable with. She does know how to do. So you got a little bit caught on her leg, she wasn't that worried. And then you give them a moment afterwards just to process things. So just make sure you have plenty of time when you're working on things like this, because you don't want to rush them, you don't want to put extra pressure on them or yourself. So already now that I'm moving it, she's immediately not happy. So every time she's moving back, I'm pulling her forwards. And you can see, although we're working a lot on it, she's not relaxing that quickly about it. She's learning to stand still when I'm asking her to. She knows that she can trust me, but there is still an instinct there that isn't so happy. So this is like her comfortable distance, right? And you can see she's moving her head from side to side because she's not really sure about it. So this is where I kind of change things up a little bit. Scoop it up to show it to her. And then I try to touch her with it. And you can see she's trying to tell me, she's like, I'm okay touching it with my nose, but I don't want it to touch any part of my body. So this is where, if you've seen natural horsemanship and stuff, you'll see that they often do go around in circles. So I haven't got a lunge line, I'm not trying to lunge her, but I'm saying, okay, if you want to run away from it from now, then you do that. Because you can see there is more tension in the rope, so I am asking her to stop and come to me. She's not, so I say, okay, we'll do this for a while, we haven't done this. You can see she's watching it, she knows that I'm not sending her away, she knows that this isn't a lunging exercise. And you can see she slows down for a little bit. The closer it gets, she starts again. I mean, you could do this in a round pen, but we don't have one, and this works for us. So you see, again, now the line is completely loose. She's stopped, she's looking at it, she's still not sure, she's not relaxed about it. I'm holding the end of it, so if she wants to run, she can. So again, I'm scooping it up a bit more so it's less intimidating. But then I'm also being clear for what I want. So I'm stroking her a little bit, stroking her face. And then I just gently touch her with it, and you can see her body jolts. But she stays put. And that's a huge milestone for her. So you can see she really isn't relaxed. But she's standing still. She's still looking at it. She's not frozen in fear. But she is doing her absolute best to do what I'm asking. It's obviously not hurting her. But it's weird, we've never done that. So I'm just taking it slowly. Almost just brushing motions. And you can see there's no tension. Then I move it away, stand on it a little bit, show that it's something we know. And as a reward, we walk away from it. That's the release. Give her a nice big pat. Walk around, change directions. Reassure her verbally. And then we go back to it. Now, with horses, as you know, you have to do everything both sides. So you can see she's already not so sure about this side, but she's not running the way that she was before. She's just not sure. She's trying to say, no, I'd rather not, but it's alright. We just take our time. See, I gave her the option then. I moved away so that she could run if she wanted to run away from it. And she jolts. She's a bit like, oh, I hate this. But she manages to stand still really quickly. Managed to stroke her. You can see I'm not holding her in place. She's choosing to stand there. She's turning her head because she's not comfortable. But that's okay, this is the point. We have to work on these things incrementally. And she's chewing, licking. But she is getting more comfortable. She is relaxing, and that's all you can really ask for. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Let me know down in the comments if you've done this with your horse or if you found this informative. Drop a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, we ended it on a note that she's familiar with, which is just walking over it, which she's a bit hesitant to. But we'll see you next time.